Have you ever felt like your life is falling apart? But deep inside, something whispers, it's actually falling into place. Lately, you may have felt lost, disconnected, as if nothing makes sense anymore. The dreams you once chased seem distant. The people you once held close feel unfamiliar, and the life you've built no longer fits the shape of your soul. But what if I told you this isn't the end? It's the threshold. This video isn't just another motivational talk. It's a mirror for the version of you that's quietly awakening. The one who's been waiting to breathe freely, to live with clarity, and to step into the most powerful chapter of your life. You'll discover that the chaos is sacred, the confusion is a compass, and the emptiness is not a void, but a womb for something extraordinary. Let me tell you a story. There was once a woman who had everything the world said she should want: a steady job, a partner, a routine. But every night she'd lie awake, heart racing, staring at the ceiling. Not because she was afraid, but because something in her was stirring, like the life she was living belonged to someone else. One day she packed her bags, not to escape, but to find herself. That decision led her to people, places, and truths that she'd only felt in dreams. And she realized she hadn't lost herself. She had finally answered her soul's call. If you feel something within you shifting, even slightly, stay with me, because the signs are already there. The transformation has already begun, and this might just be the message your heart has been waiting for. What part of this speaks to you the most? Feel free to share it in the comments. I'd love to hear your story too. Sometimes, the most beautiful beginnings arrive dressed as endings. You wake up one day, and everything feels heavier. The air, the silence, even your own thoughts. The life you've been living no longer fits like it used to. It scratches, it suffocates, it stings. And yet, you don't understand why. Because nothing on the outside has really changed. You go to work, you smile at friends, you answer messages, but inside something has collapsed. A quiet crumbling of certainty, a disintegration of meaning. And that's terrifying, isn't it? But here's the truth. That collapse is sacred. What you're experiencing isn't destruction. It's the echo of your soul whispering, "This is not who you were meant to be." It's the beginning of your awakening. Most people run from this phase. They distract, they numb, they pretend. But you're here, listening, feeling, facing the discomfort instead of fleeing it. And that makes all the difference. Because only when the old self starts to fall apart can the true self begin to emerge. This isn't just philosophy, it's transformation in motion. There's a moment right before dawn when the sky is at its darkest. And if you didn't know better, you'd think the sun might never rise again. But it always does. Not because the darkness was wrong, but because it was necessary. Likewise, what you're facing now, the confusion, the breakdown, the emptiness, it's not a sign of failure. It's a sign of readiness. The universe doesn't break you to punish you. It breaks you open, so something truer can flow in. Let this be your moment of pause, not to fix or fight or figure everything out, but to honor the breakdown, to trust that beneath the ruins, the foundation of a more authentic life is waiting to be built. You're not falling apart. You're falling into alignment. You're not broken. You're breaking through. And if your heart is trembling, if your soul is stirring, it means you're exactly where you're meant to be. Let it begin. If any part of this spoke to your soul, just whisper "I feel it" in the comments. Let's begin this journey together. There comes a moment when the world you've always known starts to feel like a beautifully crafted illusion. Not because it was fake, but because it was incomplete. You find yourself questioning everything you once believed, not with bitterness, but with quiet curiosity. You look at your job, your relationships, your goals, and you wonder, who chose this? Was it really me? Or was I just following the script handed to me? It's not a breakdown of logic. It's a breakthrough of awareness. Suddenly, questions appear like echoes in your mind. Why am I doing this? Is this truly what I want? Does this reflect who I really am? And they won't go away, because they're not just thoughts, they're signals. Signals that something deeper in you has awakened. This isn't a phase of rebellion. It's a return to truth, to authenticity, to the self that's been buried beneath layers of conditioning, expectations, and noise. At first, it's unsettling, like walking into a room you've been in your whole life but seeing it with new eyes. The colors look different. The space feels smaller. The comfort is gone. But in that discomfort, there is clarity. You're not losing your way. You're questioning the map, the one that told you success looks a certain way, that happiness means ticking off checkboxes, that love has to hurt to be real, that your worth is tied to how much you do or earn or give. You're starting to see that the world doesn't just happen to you. You participate in shaping it, with every belief you hold, every boundary you set, every truth you honor or suppress. And now, you're no longer willing to betray your soul for the sake of belonging. This is not an identity crisis. It's a soul awakening. You're not confused. You're waking up. Let the questions come. Let them strip away everything that isn't real. Because what remains after the questioning is who you truly are. And that truth is powerful. It's unshakable. It's enough. Have you found yourself questioning old beliefs lately? Drop A if you're in that space too, beginning to see the world and yourself with new eyes. You start noticing it in the quiet moments, a strange emptiness where excitement used to live. The places that once felt like home now echo with silence. The people you used to laugh with feel distant, even when they're near. The dreams that once pulled you forward don't light you up anymore. At first you think something's wrong with you. Why don't I feel connected anymore? Why does everything feel muted? But this disconnection, it's not decay. It's sacred. You're not losing your passion. You're shedding what no longer fits your soul. Just like trees release their leaves before winter, you're letting go of what no longer serves your becoming, not because it's bad, but because it's done. This detachment isn't coldness, it's clarity. You're beginning to recognize what was built from fear, not love, from habit, not purpose, from survival, not soul. And as that clarity deepens, you'll feel an ache, a longing, a confusion, because part of you still wants to hold on, not to the person, the place, or the habit, but to who you were when they still made sense. But you're not that version of yourself anymore. You've outgrown those skins, those masks, those roles. And now, your soul is asking you to unclench your grip, to let what's fading fade. This isn't abandonment, it's alignment. You're making space for new connections, for real joy, for truths that resonate on a deeper frequency. There's a quiet mourning in this process. Yes, but also a quiet freedom. The silence you feel now. It's not a void. It's the breath before the new chapter begins. A stillness before the bloom. You're not lost. You're being recalibrated. So if you feel disconnected, honor it. If the world around you no longer mirrors your heart, trust it. The sacred disconnection is clearing the path for something far more real. You're not walking away. You're walking home. Have you been feeling this too? A silent space opening inside you? Just write, "I feel the shift" in the comments, so others know they're not alone. There's a moment when you realize you can't carry the old version of yourself any further, not because it was wrong, but because it's too small now. The roles you played, the masks you wore, the identity you built to survive, they once served you. They kept you safe, helped you belong, gave you purpose. But now they feel like costumes 2 sizes too tight. You try to keep them on, out of loyalty, out of fear, out of habit, but your soul has outgrown them. Letting go isn't easy. It's not just about quitting a job, ending a relationship, or changing a routine. It's about releasing the inner architecture you built around who you thought you had to be. It's grieving the you that others praised, but never truly saw. It's acknowledging that the version of you who always said yes, who always performed, who always kept it together, is exhausted. She's ready to rest. He's ready to exhale. And underneath all that striving is someone softer, truer, more whole. But here's the catch. The bridge between who you were and who you are becoming is built on surrender. You have to let go without knowing exactly what's coming. You have to trust that the emptiness you feel after release is the fertile soil of becoming. It's like exhaling for the first time after holding your breath for years. And yes, the mind will panic. The ego will resist. The fear will scream, "Who will I be without this?" But your soul already knows. You will be free. You will be whole. You will be you. Not the version shaped by approval, obligation, or survival, but the one your heart has whispered about in your quietest moments. This is the unlearning, the undoing, the unraveling of all that isn't truly yours. And it's the bravest work you'll ever do. So if today feels like a funeral for who you used to be, know that a rebirth is already underway. You are not disappearing. You are revealing. If you've felt the weight of shedding your old self lately, let me know with a simple in the comments. You're not alone in this becoming. There's a voice inside you. Always has been. But in the noise of the world, it was easy to miss. Drowned beneath the shoulds, the schedules, the static. Until one day, in the quiet after letting go, you start to hear it. It's not loud. It doesn't shout. It hums. It nudges. It knows. Your intuition. That soft, wordless knowing. The one you brushed aside for logic, for approval, for practicality, is rising. And suddenly, the path you once forced no longer feels right. The plans you clung to don't spark joy. The people you tolerated drain you faster than ever before. Not because you're lost, but because something within has clicked. Intuition doesn't always give reasons. It gives resonance. You feel drawn to places, ideas, people, not with certainty, but with peace. You feel pushed away from others, not with judgment, but with quiet clarity. This is the inner compass recalibrating, not to what makes sense on paper, but to what aligns with your soul. It's subtle at first, a hesitation before saying yes, a whisper saying, wait, a flutter when you meet someone who feels like home, even if you just met. You may not always understand it, but you can feel when something is right or wrong without needing evidence. And the more you listen, the clearer it gets. The more you trust, the stronger it becomes. This is the language of your truth, returning to your body, your heart, your breath. Intuition is your original guidance system, the one that never needed validation, the one that always pointed home. And now, it's time to remember how to follow it. So don't be afraid of the feelings you can't explain. Don't rush to logic when your soul speaks first. Don't silence the knowing that whispers instead of screams. Your intuition is sacred. It's how your soul speaks, when words no longer work. Have you been feeling more guided from within lately? Just type, "I hear it," if that voice inside you has started to grow louder. You no longer want to impress them, the ones you used to bend for, perform for, shrink for, because something deeper is stirring inside you now, not a need to be seen, but a need to evolve. You find yourself drawn to new ideas, new questions, new ways of being. Books you wouldn't have touched before suddenly make sense. Conversations that once bored you now awaken you. And time spent alone no longer feels lonely. It feels necessary. This isn't about fixing yourself. It's about unfolding yourself. The real you. The one who's been waiting patiently beneath all the masks and motions. The one who no longer needs applause, likes, or nods of approval. To feel whole. You're not chasing growth to prove something. You're craving it. To remember something. To remember how it feels to move through the world with curiosity instead of comparison, with purpose instead of pressure, with soul instead of ego. This growth doesn't scream. It doesn't demand. It whispers, there's more. More to learn. More to unlearn. More of yourself you haven't met yet, and the deeper you go, the more you realize. You're not looking to become someone new. You're peeling back everything that's not you. And yes, it can be lonely. Not everyone will understand. Not everyone wants to grow with you. Some may drift. Some may resist. But that's not your burden. Because the path of real growth isn't paved with followers. It's carved with intention. You're no longer choosing what looks good. You're choosing what feels aligned. That shift, it changes everything. It's the moment you stop chasing recognition and start embodying truth. So if you felt yourself shedding the need for validation and leaning into growth that no one else may see or applaud, you're not alone. That's the sacred path. That's the quiet revolution. If that's where you are right now, just write "I choose growth" in the comments, and let that be your declaration. There's a strange comfort in pain we've known too long. You tell yourself, at least I understand this. At least I know how to survive it. So you stay. In the relationship that drains you. In the job that numbs you. In the pattern that breaks you. Not because it's right, but because it's familiar. But at some point, something inside you whispers, this isn't love. This isn't life. This isn't peace. And for the first time, you believe it. That whisper becomes a roar, not of rage, but of realization. You realize that staying in pain just because it's predictable is the slowest form of self-abandonment. You realize that choosing chaos over calm isn't strength. It's fear. Fear of the unknown. Fear of being alone. Fear of not being able to rebuild. But here's the truth. You can rebuild. And this time, it will be on your terms. Because peace isn't passive. It's a bold, deliberate choice. To walk away from what steals your joy. To stop explaining your worth. To release the need to fix what was never yours to carry. It's choosing silence over shouting. Solitude over codependence. Self-respect over self-sacrifice. It's saying, I love you, but I love myself more. This doesn't make you cold. It makes you conscious. You're not running. You're reclaiming. And yes, it hurts to let go of what you once begged to stay. But it hurts even more to keep betraying your own soul for the sake of comfort. So if you're standing at that threshold, heart aching, hands trembling, but ready, know this. Choosing peace is not weakness, it's wisdom. And the moment you choose it, the healing begins. Have you recently chosen peace, even when it was hard? Type, I chose myself in the comments, and let that truth be honored. There's a moment after the letting go, when everything feels still. Too still, like you've stepped off a train that never stopped. And now there's silence. No noise, no motion, no direction. At first, it feels terrifying. What now? Who am I without all the things I walked away from? The emptiness stretches wide, like a void that echoes every doubt, every fear, every whisper of, was this the right choice? But here's what most people don't know. This emptiness, it's sacred. It's not a failure. It's a field. A vast open space where the new can begin. Because before something meaningful can be built, the old foundation has to be cleared. This stillness is not your ending. It's your sacred reset. It's the womb of your rebirth, the blank canvas where truth will begin to paint its colors. The pause between the exhale and the next deep breath. You are not empty. You are available. Available for clarity. Available for alignment. Available for something that fits who you are now, not who you had to be before. It may feel like nothing is happening, but beneath the silence, your roots are growing. Your soul is anchoring. Your energy is preparing for what's next. And when it comes, it will not feel forced. It will feel familiar, like coming home. So don't rush this space. Don't fill it out of panic. Don't shame the stillness. Instead, honor it. Because you're not meant to bounce back. You're meant to rise different. Let the emptiness be sacred. Have you been feeling this quiet space in your life lately? Leave one if you're learning to trust the silence. You're not becoming someone new. You're remembering someone ancient, someone buried beneath years of people-pleasing, surviving, adapting, someone who whispered truths you weren't ready to hear until now. And now, here you are, after the shedding, after the silence, standing at the edge of your own becoming. There's no drum roll, no applause, just a quiet clarity and a deep inner knowing. I'm finally starting to feel like me. Not the version others expected, not the version you crafted for safety, but the one that breathes differently, speaks with purpose, chooses with intention. This version of you is not louder, it's clearer. Not perfect, but real. Not chasing, but attracting. You stop apologizing for your sensitivity. You stop shrinking to make others comfortable. You stop asking for permission to be who you are. Because now you know, authenticity is your birthright. And what's wild is, people feel it. Without you saying a word, they sense the shift. Your presence changes the room. Not because you demand it, but because you embody it. You're not desperate for connection anymore. You are connection. You're not begging for love anymore. You are love. You're not seeking a path anymore. You are the path. This is what happens when you align. When you stop asking, who do they need me to be? And start asking, who was I before I forgot? So take a breath. Let this truth settle in your bones. You didn't just survive. You alchemized. You turned loss into clarity, silence into song, pain into purpose. You are who you've always been, before the world told you otherwise. Have you started to feel that version of you rising? Let me know in the comments with the words, I'm remembering. And now, you're here. Not at the end, but at a beginning so sacred, so intentional, so true, that your old life can no longer hold it. This is not the same version of you who started this journey. This is the you who has seen the cracks and stepped through them, who has faced the silence and found your voice inside it, who has let go and discovered what was never yours to carry. You didn't just change, you transformed, not by force, not by fixing, but by returning to your intuition, to your peace, to your breath, to your soul. And now, everything begins again, but on different terms. You choose with alignment. You move with intention. You speak from truth. You no longer chase what drains you. You attract what fuels you. You no longer live by default. You live by design, your design. And no, it's not perfect. It's not polished. It's not always certain. But it's real, it's you, and it's free. So step forward, not with fear, but with reverence. Because this isn't just a new season, it's a resurrection. This is the chapter where you stop surviving and start living, where you stop wondering who you are and start being who you've always been. And remember, rebirth is rarely loud. It's quiet, it's steady, it's sacred, just like you. If this journey has spoken to your heart, drop I'm ready in the comments and know this, you're not walking alone. There's a whole world of souls, just like you, rising, remembering, and returning home to themselves. And this is just the beginning.